Why are they calling him that? I am Milton, son of a carpenter Mary. Daddy carpenter worked on skyscrapers. Mom Marianne. I'm the son of a carpenter Mary. I get to make parables, and this is my Tommy parable series about Tommy, the no-arm Chinese fella. How did he get to be missing both arms? He was born with them. Tommy was brown-nosing. His boss, Wu, of the Oriental Streets, the Chinese unseen business, told him to stick his right arm into a wood chipper, part of a management test, part of a loyalty test, and Tommy slowly fed that right arm into the wood chipper. Lefty, the left arm, saw what was going on, was of course surprised, and jumped off, leaving Tommy with no arms, but promotion. He also won his girlfriend's heart. He's always been scaly. He always talks with a harsh lisp. He likes to stick his tongue out a lot. If you know what I know of the streets and the unseen business, the Chinese have been sticking their tongue out at the rest of the world for many, many millennia. Now that he's missing both arms, Tommy does a mean snake dance. He snaked his way in between Rhea and whoever he was dancing with. Has been there ever since. This parable occurs after Tommy gets tired of her nagging, and he goes down the street to Al's bar, and Al has something he's got to do, so he asks Tommy to tend bar for him. And it happens every once in a while, and Tommy likes to tend bar because he calls up all his buddies from the AA meeting at the bar, and he said, we're having a meeting right now, come on down. And if Al doesn't get back in time, yeah, he has quite a few on the house for his AA meeting buddies. Yeah, Amputees Anonymous, guys. They like to hold their meeting at the bar despite the cries of protest when they put the little chalkboard sign out in front of Al's bar. Let me get my sugar check in because I want to make this a quick one. I've got other things to do. Oh. Have you seen my handsome bald guy poster? Yeah, I try to always keep a spare handy just in case a young lady walks up to me and says, excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to have a poster of yourself, would you? I can put a smile on her face. And yes, I can make you look cool. In Milton's imagery, you gotta come see me in person to do that, though. I switch them out twice a day, for my morning and my sugar check and the evening tests. Yeah, apparently you need a whole lot of blood sugar to grow a whole new body, new pair of eyes. I'll show you the eyes at the end of the parable here. But Tommy is having a good time. He's really getting into being bartender. He's surprisingly dexterous, despite missing his hands and his arms. He can use his feet and he can use his mouth. And you've seen those movies, haven't you? Tossing those bottles around and pouring them. And he does that pretty well, except, when the patrons come to pay him, he takes the bills, of course, with his mouth, and goes gets the change, and then they don't want the change because it's all wet from saliva. So he gets a lot of tips when he tends bar. And yes, he also gets to give his friends from the AA meeting at the bar a drink on the house. And he's doing that. He's showing up, tossing those bottles around, pouring those drinks. When something catches his ear, they've changed the channel from the Three Stooges. That's another thing he likes. His favorite show, the Three Stooges. He likes to put it on at Al's bar whenever he's tending bar. Someone's changed it, and it's a news story from the past. ER. Try another one. I think you may have heard the celebrations in the streets when the Hussein placing was administrations were over with. I guess I should wipe this off and try with some fresh blood, perhaps. It's a story about Barack Hussein Obama on the news, and they do something they don't always do. The reporter refers to him as Barack Hussein Obama, and Tommy drops a bottle. He's tossing them around. He's about to pour another round for somebody. 2:15. That's not bad. He drops the bottle, crashes. He goes over to Hezekiah. Tommy likes to use Hezekiah's reason for losing his arms because he doesn't like to tell folks he stuck an arm in a wood chipper. The other arm jumped off. He likes to use that reason. Hezekiah, he's from Amish country. He was riding on a wagon. And yeah, he'd had a little too much to drink. He fell off the wagon. The second Amish wagon rolled over his arm. And as one of the folks who heard him tell his story at the AA meeting at the bar asked, well, couldn't they take you to the hospital, get it reattached? And Hezekiah said, hospital? This is Amish country. I was lucky. Susan down the street was real good at sewing. Close up the wound. Anyway, he goes over to Hezekiah. Tommy uses that same reason for losing his arm, except two Amish wagons roll over each arm. He says, what did he call him? And Hezekiah says, oh, Barack Hussein Obama. And Tommy said, they're not supposed to do that. And so he's on the horn to woo. Interrupted his dinner. And he says, did you know they're calling him Barack Hussein Obama? Well, they don't do it that often, do they? When they placed that coward Muslim in the White House, they didn't really call him Hussein as often as you might think. Considering the fact that they just placed someone named Hussein in the highest office in the world right after we got attacked by a whole lot of angry, violent, deadly, cowardly Husseins. They are hesitant to use that name, and Tommy, he got the memo. He doesn't pay attention to the news like I don't. It's all fake news, as you can tell when you check and post in 5 in front of that reporter. It's all fake news compared to your family's lifeline not working. And show them that lifeline you tried to call me, 424-229-4140. Make the video of it, post it. Whatever you get when you don't get me, you're making a video of folks worried enough about hijacking America's lifelines to cover it up by altering phone records. But you've got video proof of that hijack. Make that video, post that video. And, Tommy, I better get going. It's 9 minutes, 9.5. Tommy calls up Woo, and Woo, he says, well, you better get to work on that. That's a lot of news broadcasts. See, it turns out it was a combination of different forces that placed Hussein, and placed that Russian buffoon in the White House currently. Combination of folks, and the ones who were the zealots with the Muslims wanted him to have the Muslim name. His background, they don't name him Hussein unless they're Muslim, guys. His religion, and yeah, the others said, it doesn't look right, we're placing this guy right after we got attacked by a whole lot of angry, violent, deadly Husseins. It doesn't look right. And yes, the other side of those evil folks who placed in the White House, they won because, yeah, here's some Muslims outside unhappy. They won out. Because you remember he reached out to those who harbor those cowardly terrorists, Muslim terrorists, in their countries. Right after he got in office and then backed away from that, I don't think he ever reached out to the American people who were supposed to have put him in office, but guys, you can't reach me right now. You get that boring thing, phone ringing, error message, busy signal. Whatever boring thing you get, not going to be boring. You need the firemen, police, paramedics. Tell that reporter everything's fake news compared to that. So make that video. And yeah, the next time you call up countless other folks because you want them to support a cause or vote for something, and you get that boring thing, phone ringing, error message, busy signal. That's how they placed both the buffoon Trump, Russian guy, and the cowardly Hussein in our White House. That's how they placed them. They're going to keep doing that, guys. I hear they've got a relative of Adolf Hitler they want to put in there. Until you put your foot down with truth. Make a video of America's hijacked life funds and post it. And yes, it falls under the category of erasing Hussein's past. I made that video, a minute parable video that they prompted folks with high-tech toys to steal the entire day's worth of videos and photos. I made that video about that federal agent who had been following or who knew about the following of Barack Hussein Obama since way back in the Ronald Reagan era. And he was told to drop that filling that file up because they're going to place Hussein in our White House. And he told Susan, the reporter, covering the story for the Immaculate Network, not her own, because she knows her boss not going to cover it, not going to run the story. He told her that, yeah, before they even were having the election, told me to drop it. They're placing him in the White House. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines and post it, guys. We need to put our foot down. We're Americans, we can do that. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines, post it with your phone. Come see me in person, have Whitwell travel, showing the perfect place to build Jesus' immaculate house here on earth. Best people start building with. When you see those 21,000 examples of my work that you can print out as graphic art photos, you see that in a lot of those sites there. That's a great world of people. It's got me in all of this stuff. Me and those changing eyes, those stigmatized. Tear down that great wall of evil. Put yourself right here. We got a lot of work to do. Building those 1,000 points of light to inspire the future and the present to greatness. And protecting what we build from those evil folks who hate truth. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines right now. Come see me in person. Remember, if you can reach my stuff, download them. Both the videos, the imagery, and run them to DVD for your next party. Not everyone can reach those sites. Let me show you the eye I'm talking about. This photo is from like about 5 years ago. You can see the outer circle of the brown there is missing. I'm going to show you in the bathroom there in the dark with my flashlight. But that's from about 5 years ago. The photo from about 9 years ago is completely brown. And yes, you can see the bigger eyes or the bluer eyes, they're growing in through and around right there. It's medical research being passed by LAC, USC, Keck Medical can reach me by phone. Dr. Misa down the street can reach me by phone, but is unable to talk about those changing eyes. There's the eye from about 9 years ago. Hope you can see it. I'm kind of unable to see the viewfinder. And here's from about 5 years ago. They've been changing since 1996. And oh yeah, let me put that in. Tommy will be hard at work with all of his employees. Going through and yeah, when it had always placed someone named Hussein, the highest office in the world, right after we got attacked by a whole lot of angry, violent, deadly Hussein, something's up somewhere. We need to do something. They're going to be going in and erasing. You might see some old news clips that say Barack, and then there's kind of a bleep, and then Obama, because Tommy's in charge of erasing the past that has Hussein, rubbing elbows with those terrorists of Saudi Arabia and the Mideast, and he's in charge of erasing all of that. So if you see some old news footage of Hussein, and they kind of muffle out that middle name, they didn't call him that too often. As rare occasions I was able to watch the news and such. They didn't call him that too often by that Hussein name, where they don't name him Hussein Muslim. Like that video of America's Hijack Lifelines, post it. And yeah, there's that eye now. They kind of got the whitish around on there. Harder for me to do this because it's hard for me to see the viewfinder, and this eye comes in a little clearer. I can see it better. But yeah, about a year now I've been taking the vitamins, and slowly but surely that brown's been worked on. Spiral staircase work by the son of a carpenter, Mary. Yes, Dad, that carpenter worked in skyscrapers. Mom, Marianne. Spiral staircase work, and don't try this at home. I got to answer the door. Don't try this at home. Dad himself taught me.